Okay, these are questions. This is an awesome panel of real experts. If you read the bios, they speak for themselves. We've got Norm Hollyn from California, USC, one of the top schools in digital media, filming, media arts.
Thank you.
We've got Jonathan Benson, who has been a leader in this state and has more students than room at the Creative Media Institute of New Mexico State, doing unbelievable work with students in digital media and filming. Interim Secretary Bill Flores, who has a true vision for the future of education, P20, and I love visiting with Bill about his past and what excites him. Hey, not that. But
Just don't Google me.
yeah. And we talk on Facebook all the time. Dr. Mayo is a dear friend of mine. Dr. Mayo is with the Kauffman Foundation and is a gamer in a big way, and also really, really understands and believes in gaming and education. And then we have Dr. Barbara Chamberlin, who is moderating this, the pirate, which I'm just so thrilled to have her. I was real let down that there weren't more people at the reception to do the real pirate launch, but we're still launching it today. We're launching it all day. So I'm going to turn it over to you. We're going to do the poll. Everybody answer that question. How do you like to learn?
And, you know, we were asking you, how do you like to learn? Do you like to read? Your preference. We all learn in different ways. We know that. But what's your preference when it comes right down to it? And I'm going to tell you, you're going to learn something specific. Do you want to read about it? Do you want to hear about it on your iPod? That's how I do all my reading now. Do you like to see it, a film, a documentary, a play? Do you like to interact? Do you like to play a game? We all have different preferences, and those affect our biases toward technology education. One of the reasons I was so excited about this panel is in talking with each of them, they have such a wide diversity of experience in talking about how to shape the future of learning. And the future of learning is not just something that this group of people think about every now and then. The future of learning is something that this group of people think about on a daily basis and use it to create real solutions to actually reflect the way our learning environments need to be to meet the needs of our learners. And so I was so pleased in talking with them is that immediately this is a group of people that get it. You sometimes when you talk about your job to someone, you have to spend time explaining to them what it is and your bias before you can actually get to the real points. This group of people, they know it. We hop right into it. This group of people knows that it's not really, and when it comes about media and technology, we're not talking about showing video or having our audiences observe it. That with new learners, what they need to do is not watch video or hear it or read it. What they need to do is create it. That with new technology and new learners, it's not always about competition, but it's about collaboration. That in all of the different spaces that we have, when we talk about learning, it's not just saying, oh, these kids today, they learn technology. It's about recognizing that these kids' technology have a real these kids today have a real facility with technology, but it means they have other different challenges that we need to address when we talk about how they need to learn and where they need to be there. Our Learning Games Lab at NMSU is a place where we can test our games that we develop. Science Pirates is one, available on sciencepirates.org, which is why I'm dressed like this and not the normal business attire. But in our games lab, we spend time at every moment testing with kids. We have a new graphic, we test it. A new script, we test it. A new audio file, we test it so that we get their feedback at every point. And we don't do that in many other learning environments. In many other learning environments, we bring our bias coming in and say, this is how I'm going to prepare instruction for them to learn. Instead of at every minute saying, are you getting this? Are they learning it? How do we shape it? And the nice thing is that this group of people knows the answers to that because they spend time interacting with teachers, faculty, students, reshaping the curriculum. And our goal today is to send you out with some real specific solutions about when we address the future of learning, what does that mean today? What do we need to do in our classrooms and our informal learning environments today? So to start the future of learning discussion, Dr. Merrilea, you know, you have said that your title has the future of learning in it. So that's a very large part of what you do. Set the stage for us today about what the crucial issues in the future of learning are.
Well, first of all, let me give you our foundation's vision of what the future of learning is. And as I found out, it's almost everybody's vision from the opening speech given at this presentation to Bill Flores. So I think we're converging on a vision. And it is that learning will be anytime, anywhere, any place, on demand. that we will have a plethora of rich media delivering interactive experiences, from cell phone delivered learning to virtual world-based learning to game-based learning. And this is in addition to all the other ways we can learn, by going to science museums, by apprenticing with your Uncle Bob, by taking a course at the community college. And then in the future, it won't matter, oops, well, forget that. It won't matter how you assembled this body of knowledge. What will matter is that you've achieved a certain level of skills and abilities, and there will be a companion credentialing system where you can take a snapshot of those skills and abilities you acquired up to this point in time, hand them directly to an employer and say, this is who I am, this is what I can do, give me a job based on this. And what's absent from this whole vision is any particular tie to place. It's not a place-based credential. You don't have to spend some certain number of months in a certain institution in order to get a label that says you can do something. It's not place-based learning. I mean, you can go to a place, but it's not required. And so suddenly you are freed up to learn however you want, whenever you want, and at any point in time say, okay, I'm ready for a job. Let's take a snapshot of who I am and go get a job that's commensurate with these scores in these specific skill areas. I'd also note that the future of learning is very collaborative, as you pointed out. It is not teacher giving information to students. It is people working on problems together. So rather than the kind of engineering class I had where I was given an assignment on paper, I'm supposed to do a truss analysis, I do all the equations, I write it down on a piece of paper, I give it to a teacher, or what they're doing today, which is please complete this spreadsheet, doing this truss analysis that's basically the same as what I did. In the future, it'll be go into this virtual world, assemble a team of people, and we want you to build a bridge over the San Francisco Bay. Here are your cost constraints. This is the amount of money you have. These are the requirements for the bridge. And like Project Lead the Way, but available in a virtual world with partners all over the world, you will just have to figure it out. And you'll realize, oh my God, I need truss analysis to do this. And you'll go and get that information wherever you can. You'll talk to people, and you will yourself pull yourself through the learning process to get that bridge built on time, on budget. And you'll deal with all those HR issues that they never teach you in school, all the soft skills, the 21st century leadership skills you have to learn to get the job done. And it will be very practically oriented, immersive education of a kind that we don't deliver today.
You know, when you talk about the on-demand learning and the learning anywhere, theoretically, I love it. It sounds great. I know it's exactly where we need to be. When I think of an educator as, okay, how do I do that now? In some ways, it seems so overwhelming to create an environment where learning can happen in a way that the students need it most. I'm wondering if the panel can give us some very good specific examples where you all have seen that done very well, so that our audience can get some takeaways of some examples, not maybe in the huge grand scheme, which is fantastic and needs to be done, but in the classroom, how could we structure something to take it from more of a lecture environment to more of an on-demand or an anytime learning environment?
I can jump in with that. Am I okay, good. I can jump in with that because at USC, I'm in the film school there, and so we're teaching making media, but one of the things we do, especially with our partners at the Institute for Multimedia Literacy, is learn how to use media to teach other things. So what I'm going to say isn't just about teaching media. It's about using media in all cases. We find that the collaborative nature is the most important thing to encourage. So for instance, our editing machines are the workstations where our students are going to work at. We don't isolate them. We put them right next to each other so our students can lean over and go, hey, how'd you do that? Our students learn as much from other students as they do from us. I have a class where, as opposed to what I understand justifiably, is a paranoia about allowing laptops